Hi, my name is Gabriel Vondrausch from Sungift Solar, renewable energy installers based in Exeter in Devon.
Now you're one amongst about 5 different solar companies. Tell us what farming aspects are good for your company and for people here.
Solar's got a really important part to play in the agricultural sector. There's a huge amount of space available in the agricultural sector, and can provide very attractive income as well to sort of supplement some farmers' wages. So the agricultural sector is going to play an extremely important part in the solar PV industry in the next few years.
As I said, half the reason I came to you is because I recognised your panels. They very like German ones that I saw on German rooftops. Can you tell us why German farms have got so many and we've got so few?
Germany has had a feed-in tariff in place now for nearly 10 years. So they have gone through all the learning curve, they have done all the publicity, and they are now the largest photovoltaic market in the whole world. So we are a good sort of 6-7 years behind them. Our feed-in tariff was implemented in April 2010, and so we've got a lot of catching up to do. But we are currently installing at a much quicker rate than the Germans did when they started. So give us 10 years and we'll certainly be further ahead than the Germans are at the moment. But yeah, it's a fairly new. Up until the feed-in tariff was announced, PV systems weren't very financially attractive. So that's the big step change. Is now that they're actually a good sound investment, people are willing to put money into it, and that's where you'll see there'll be a few large megawatt farms popping up, but majority of the systems are going to be the large sort of 10 to 500 kilowatt systems, ground mounted and sort of barn mounted on agricultural land.
The ground-mounted aspect's important to remember, isn't it? You don't need a south-facing building, do you?
Yes, that's correct. Any land can be used for mounting PV systems. Ground-mounted systems, you've always got to be aware that obviously if you're using food, growable land or agricultural land, you've got to be careful of the planning restrictions and the processes. Generally, for a system that's going to generate the energy that the farmer's actually using, is a lot easier to get through rather than having a large installation that's there as just earning money. So ground-mounted systems that are connected to a farm are a lot more likely to happen than the big sort of standalone systems. But again, quite often you can still use the land for sort of grazing and stuff around the modules themselves.
Otherwise it's seen as a change of use, is it?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so change of use on agricultural land is the tricky one. If you can get it quite often, what we're advising farmers to do is mount the ground arrays around bits of land which aren't usable. So for instance, around silage pits or around stuff which isn't usable, you can then just quite easily fence them off and have that as your ground array.
Is it a good time to buy into the technology? I mean, new technologies have the habit of getting better next year.
Very good question. Yes, the technology is constantly improving. So the best thing to sort of liken it to is computers. There's always small step changes. So it's very hard to say, all I can say is there's never been a better time than right now to get into PV. The feed-in tariff has a digression rate built into it for new entrants. So in April 2012, the rate that you get paid for the energy you produce actually drops. And that basically then drops every year. And that is to combat basically technological advances and cost reductions. So the rate of return is designed to stay about the same. So as the technology gets better and the costs come down, the rate you get paid for the electricity you produce also falls in line with it.
Gabriel, thank you very much.
No problem, thank you.